after, or at least does most, to look after young filmmakers, and also Asian filmmakers from Indonesia, from Malaysia, from
in
God
particular,
knows where. The Malaysian new wave cinema, we call it now, Malaysian new generation cinema, couldn't have done it without Pusan. And couldn't have done it without Pusan. In Europe, it would be Rotterdam, but in Asia, it would be Pusan.
Really?
Those two festivals essentially helped funded it.
I don't know if all of our viewers know exactly what Pusan does, what PIF does for these filmmakers. What do they do to help these filmmakers?
Anything from funding their films to introducing their films to the rest of the world.
Sure.
And that's already very important.
Right.
To introducing young filmmakers to producers, to the media, and so on, which obviously all helps in building the career of a young filmmaker.
Right. You did mention that last time. Networking, you said, was a huge part.
It's a big thing.
Yeah.
So, coming from, say, Malaysia, it's very hard because it's not really the center of international media.
No.
Yeah, it's out of the way. It's a bit of a backwater. And to be a young filmmaker, especially if you're looking at international funding or international markets, you do need a network, you do need the contacts. And Pusan does a lot of that. I think that's really fantastic. And just from the point of view that Pusan was set up to help, has an intention to help Asian films, Asian filmmakers, it's completely laudable. It's amazing. I mean,
so how many years have you visited the Pusan International Film Festival?
Oh, I think I first went about 2005, 2006. Don't remember now.
That was the first one?
Yeah, it's the
2005, 2006. So about...
Four times?
Four times you've been?
4 times.
Yeah, and 2 times you had your films in there.
Every time I had my films.
Every time? I'm sorry.
Every time. Either as a musician or as an actor or as a producer or depending. Last year was as a producer and last year was as a producer, as a composer and an actor.
Okay.
I had 3 films in there last year.
You had 3 films in PIF last year?
Yeah, I had 3 films last year.
You played a role in 3 different films. Was that every Malaysian film that came out for PIF, or? Not
quite, but often, there was one year where there was 10 Malaysian films in PIF, and I was in 6 of them. And
Whoa! Somehow you played some role in 6 of them, whether it was acting or helping with the sound or playing the soundtrack or whatever.
Yeah.
You are a workaholic.
Yeah, I feel funny with that work. It's an illness, you know. it's a problem.
I would say it seems a little extreme, actually. You do need to get out and play tennis or have fun or do something.
No, but that's a problem with having a career where almost everything you do you enjoy. It's not work. To me, it's not work, so I end up doing it all the time. I don't feel it's working. I'm just having fun. I'm hanging out with my friends. I'm doing something creative.
Yeah. Because you're just enjoying yourself so much.
Yeah.
How about the downside of that sort of thing? How about when reviews or he's already laughing. The reviewers or the netizens in Korea? Have you heard the term netizen?
Yeah.
Yes, it's when you get those tough reviews and stuff. You ever had trouble with those?
I learned earlier on. Of course, I do. Yeah. But you learn very early in my business that, well, at least the people would teach me.
Yeah.
When I was less experienced in the business, not to take them seriously, either good or bad ones. I mean, it's very important not to take good reviews seriously as well. Just as it is very important not to take bad reviews seriously. Because I think as an artist, the most important thing, well, at least for me, the most important thing is to be honest, or else your work won't have any power, won't have any sense or reason to become compelling to your audience. So I believe the most important thing is to be honest. And if you, at the moment of creation, start thinking of critics, start trying to second guess either your critics or your audience, you start losing the honesty. And I think it's a very dangerous thing to do, so you should never do it.
If you're producing things for the audience Which I assume is why you left Hong Kong, right? Because you were just producing things for the audience, and you didn't like what you were producing that much.
No. I think it's very important. For me, the reason why I'm in the business I'm in is not necessarily, to find the next bestseller. That's never been that important to me. But I think it's more important to me that we tell a certain truth that hopefully find resonance with an audience somewhere. So it's this way of making stuff rather than the other way. Yeah. And if you work like this, it's very important to stay absolutely honest, because otherwise, you very rapidly you lose it. You lose the trick of being able to tell the truth. And a huge amount of that is, look, it's a good review, forget it. I mean, it's not important.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. It's a bad review, yeah, so.
Because otherwise you'll start worrying about the bad reviews too, right? So
Correct. Correct. So you shouldn't actually worry too much about it. I think, I would be lying if I were to say I don't read them. I do read them, but you read them and you say, yeah, okay. Yeah, move on. Do the next thing. Yeah.
Yes, but on occasion, the good reviews are still fun to hear about, aren't they? So you work with director James Lee on a film called Call If You Need Me.
That's right.
And Time magazine, the Time magazine, called it an instant noir classic, and praised your performance as amazingly nuanced and uncontrived. That feels good.
Yeah, I was not drunk enough. That's why. No,
You still,
no, it did feel good. I remember reading that review and I thought, really? Yeah.
Wow.
Fantastic.
What was it like working with James Lee, and tell us about the film?
James and I had, this is my second or third film with James now as an actor. He is one of the most talented young new wave directors in Malaysia today. Done very experimental stuff to, commercial films. And Call If You Need Me probably belongs to the more sort of art house side of what he does. His last art house one was Call If You Need Me, and it's about gangsters, but not glamorizing it. So almost you have an entire film about gangsters, and there's almost no violence in it. They just sit around playing cards and getting bored all the time.
Really?
Yeah.